Hello. Hadi.
Hello, hello.
Hi Fatma, you ready so we can start?
Okay, no, there is something from the
Fatma,
hello, only hello.
Okay.
What's not open? No, there is sound. He's on mute. Oh, stop
okay.
it,
So
stop it. Why
can you
you
please
calling me?
connect to my AnyDesk so we can start the training?
We share our AnyDesk.
No, I will share mine.
Oh, okay.
1196 155
Just a second. 1 1.
96
Uh-huh.
155
Huh?
555. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, so today we are going to cover the accounting section. To start with the accounting, first the company needs to be created. Okay? Okay, so after creating the company, you have to talk with Elia to create your company once the customer buys the accounting software. After that, we're going to start with the accounting training. To do the accounting first, the customer needs to do the setup. Okay? To do the setup, he will need first to start with something called accounts. Once the accounting company is created, you will get something called chart of account. The chart of account that appears on Omega is the chart of account of Lebanon. Okay? So once it is created, you will get the default chart of account of Lebanon. You can either keep the chart of account if the accountant wants it, or you can reset the chart of account and you will have to enter it manually once you delete it. Okay? So to create an account, first you will have to press on new. As you know, everything that has a star is a mandatory field. So to start with the account name, for example, I'm going to create an account called Omega. Okay? Here we have something called types. 1 second.
It's very
Okay, so once you go to the accounting, you have to go on setup. There is something called accounts. Okay, to create an account, you will have to press on a new. First, you start with the account name. For example, I'm going to create an account named Omega. Okay, here we have the type of accounts, which can be either a bank account, cash account, customer, employee, expense, fixed assets, supplier, or others. Okay. Let's take an example that Omega is a supplier. Okay, so I will select the type supplier. Then we have something called account header. What does account header mean? It means the start of the account. To which group of accounts this account name will be linked to. Okay. How can I know what is the account header? The accountant of the company you are going to give the training to needs to know the chart of account and to which account needs to be linked to which header. Okay, so for example, for the chart of account of Lebanon, the suppliers are linked to an account headers that start with 40110. Once you select this account header, the system will automatically generate an account number for that account. Okay, if the accountant you are going to give the training to doesn't want to use the chart of account of Lebanon, you will need to reset the account you have. To do so, you go to settings and go to company information. After that, you will go to more, select request to reset data, and you select the option which is reset accounting chart of account. Okay, you select the company and then you put the reason, which is he doesn't want to use the chart of account of the software, and you send the request. Okay, Fatma, are you hearing me? Okay, great. Okay, so let's take an example. If the chart of account has been reset, you will need to create the classes, then the account header 1, account header 2, account header 3, then the account group. Okay, you will teach the accountant how to create them. So first of all, he will need to create the account classes, which are basically from 1 to 7 or from 1 to 6 or from 1 to 8. It depends on each country. Okay, of course, the accountant you are going to give the training to needs to know what is the number he will need to create in. For example, fixed assets need to be linked to the account header 1. Accounts payable, for example, to 4. Expenses are for 6. Okay, so he'll need to create it. To create, you press on new, put the account name and then the account number, then you save. After creating the classes, you will have to create something called account header 1. What is account header 1? As you can see, I have a class which is 1. I will then create. It is like it is like the category division group. Okay, so the category can. Okay, so the account classes and headers and are like category divisions and then the group until you create the then you can create the accounts. Okay, so to create the account header 1, you press on a new.
Wait,
It's a-
the connection disconnected.
you are disconnected.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, reconnect please.
So the same 5555? Yes.
1196 155 555.
Accept.
Okay.
Okay.
As I told you, we already created the classes. Now we are going to create a subclass for the classes.
Oh.
Okay. Of course, you put the name, then you select the account subclass, which are going to be from 1 to 6 or from 1 to 7. Okay, here you are going to create the account header number. For example, as you can see, we have a class named one. So we are going to create a header like 10, 11, 12. Let me show you what I mean. If you go here to show tree view, okay, as you can see here, we have the classes. Okay, if I press on one and press on plus, we can see there are the subclasses for the account header one, which is 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. If I press on 10, you can see that there is a subclass for the account header one, which are the account header two. 101, 102, 104. If I press on 104, we can see that there is a subclass for the account header 2, which is the account header 3, 1040. And also, if I press on okay, after the account header 3 is created, you can see we have the account header group. If I press on it, once you see a character, which is this human, this is an account, okay? Is it clear till now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, those the accountant creates them. You don't need to create them. You just tell him how to create the classes account header, tell the account group, and how to create the accounts. Okay. If he doesn't want to use the chart of account of Lebanon, like Babadi, okay, Fatma, Babadi didn't want to use the account chart of account of Lebanon, so we had to reset the chart of account, and he created his own chart. Okay. Okay. After that, we have something called departments. What do I mean by department? My company can be divided into multiple departments. For example, the department one, by default, it is created as main department, okay? I can divide them into many departments. For example, the kitchen department, the offices department, or I can all link them into one department, which is the main department, okay? To create a department, I press on new, I put the name of that department, and I select to which department it is linked to. So mainly you will have to create, for example, if you are creating a kitchen department, so here you are going to put kitchen, tab, and you link it to the main department, just like I did, okay? And press save, it will be created. Okay? And we will see where we can use that button, which is the sub-department. The sub-department is used to link the Omega inventory, okay, and to check the reports by sub-department. Every report can be checked by sub-department. And also the journal voucher can be written by department. We will see that later on. After that, we are going to create the currencies. The currencies will be created by default once you create the accounting company. So once Elia creates your accounting company, the currencies that will appear will be already created, which is AED. Okay. If you want to create a new currency, which is USD, you press on new, you put the name USD, the code also USD, the symbol, which is the dollar symbol, and the digit number. The digit number means the decimal number. Okay.
Is it the same currency on other sections? And it's linked to each other. So it will be
Can you
like,
repeat?
is it the same currency section in another like back office and stack?
Yes, yes, it is. It
So
is
it's
like
also-
the back office section, but it's different. So you need to create an accounting section also the currency.
Okay.
Also, you will need to determine the rate and define the rate for the currency you are using. Okay. If the accountant will only be using AED as the currency, you select the currency which is AED, for example. Let me create AED. 1 second. Okay, so I created the AED currency. For example, I want to define the rate for the AED currency. So I press on a new rate. I select the currency which is AED. Okay. Here, the main currency that you will be seeing on Dubai accounts is also AED. Okay, so you leave the main currency as 1 AED is equal to 1 AED. Same thing goes for the second currency. 1 AED will also be equal to 1 AED because in UAE you only use AED as the currency. Okay.
Yes.
But if you want to also use the dollars, you will have to select the USD section and tell that 1 AED is equal to 3.67, right?
Yes, something big.
So 3.67. The date you always select the date 01 January 2025 or 2026. It depends on the year we are currently in. So because we are in 2025, we are going to select the date 1 January 2025 and save till end of year. Okay, because the rate in UAE won't change.
Yes.
Yes, it's fixed.
Okay, it's fixed as the government rate. Okay.
Yes.
Is it clear for the setup section?
Clear.
Yes,
Do you
clear.
have any questions regarding the setup?
Just in expand accounts, click on
In accounts?
The other one, please. Accounts, the second option. Where it
The
shows,
account auxiliaries?
yeah.
Yes.
What is the account group?
It is account header 4, but it's named as account header group.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it's like a group after this icon. Yeah, it's the nearest. Okay, clear.
Okay. There is one more thing regarding the accounts. If we go to the accounts, okay, and press on new. For example, I'm going to create an account regarding for a car. Okay. The type for that will be fixed assets. Okay. That type also the accountant will know it. Okay. Okay. Once we select a type, the type fixed assets, there is a button that will be created, which is track depreciation. Okay. Once I select and check the track depreciation, I can see something called depreciation account, depreciation expense type, and so on. What are these? Once I buy a car, for example, I bought a car for 150 AED. Okay. The value of that car, once the year passes or monthly or the months pass, it will decrease. Yes.
True. Yes.
So to do so, on the accounting software, I will have to select the type fixed assets and press on track depreciation. the accountant will also create something called a depreciation account and a depreciation expense account. Okay,
Hmm.
he will know what to select here. Here you can tell him to select the depreciation type. It will be either percentage or amount. Most of the time they will be using percentage. Okay.
Here we
The
want to
depreciation interval will be either yearly or monthly.
okay.
Yes.
For example, yearly, I will tell him on every December, for on the 1st of December, the depreciation value is 5%. That means that it will be decreased 5% over the years. Okay. And here I can select which, for example, once I bought it for 150 AED, and the depreciation and the years go on, the price of that car will arrive to a point that it will be fixed. Okay, it won't decrease anymore. So here I will tell him in 5 years stop the depreciation, and I can tell him the start date. Okay, so the start date is 15 January. On the 1st of December of that year, 5% of increase of decrease will happen to that account. Okay, and it will end in 5 years. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clear.
Okay, great. Once you finish the setup, you will go to the action section. Here in the action, we have something called journal voucher, which is the book that the accountant will be using Okay, so once we go to action, we have something called journal voucher. Here, the accountant can enter his data. It is like the purchase section in the stock management, but for the accountant. Not only purchase, it's also the sales section, the purchase section, the payment section, and so on. Here you can select the date of the JV. Here we have something called types. It can either be a purchase voucher, payment voucher, sales voucher, receipt voucher, but most of the time you'll be using the type as journal voucher. What do I mean by journal voucher label? It is the description of that journal voucher. For example, purchase of TV. Okay, I'm telling that this JV is for the purchase of TV. I can also add the invoice number. It depends. Okay. Now, to enter the data, he can select the account either by number or by name. So, for example, if I select 4011, if I know the account number and press enter, I can select it. Or I can search it by name. For example, I will search for the supplier, which is Lulu. I selected that supplier. I will tell him that the currency is USD, for example. Here we have something called credit or debit, okay? A debit section and a credit section. Once he enters the data, for example, in the debit section, also here, as you can see, I can select the department. Did you remember that we created a department called
Yeah.
kitchen?
Yeah.
So I will select the kitchen department, and also I can either put the invoice number here or here, okay? I will press enter. Once I press enter, you can see that the first line has been added to the JV. You can see that there is $500 in the debit section, $0 in the credit section, and the balance is 500. To be able to save or save and post any journal voucher, this is software tell us that transactions are not balanced. What does the software mean? To be able to save any journal voucher, the balance needs to be equal to 0. So the number of credit in accounting needs always to be equal to the number of debit. Okay?
Questions?
Of course, the accountant knows how to write the journal voucher and where to write each line. For example, I had $500 in my debit and I will pay from my cash 500. I will press enter. As you can see, the balance now is equal to 0. If the balance is equal to 0.01, it won't let me save. Okay? Of course, same thing as back office as inventory. Sorry, we have save and post. Save, you can edit it later. You can edit it later or check it later on. Save and post, it will appear in my report section. Okay. Once I saved and post, I can go to the preview section. And as you can see, I have my JP. I can edit it or print it. Okay. I can unpost that transaction. I type yes because maybe I need to fix a data in it. So I can either unpost it and edit it or delete it. Okay. If you see here, we have a triangle. What does it mean? It means that the voucher is not balanced. If I go to edit, you can see that the voucher isn't balanced. Okay?
It's just
Because
Now
because that was, if I unpost it here, as you can see, if I unpost it, I edited the line. I can press on edit the line and save it, then press on save. One sec.
maybe save it, then he did it when it was balanced.
Okay, so maybe because it was transferred from software, so that's why it came. It's something related to the rate. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's the first type of journal voucher. Okay. Here I can type it manually. Okay. I can also do the purchase voucher and payment voucher. I can either select them from here, or as I told you, we can select or change the type of the journal voucher by selecting that this is a payment voucher or a purchase voucher. Okay. It is the same thing, but the interface changes. If I go to payments, for example, the interface changed. I will tell him that I paid to Lulu, which is a supplier, from the account cash. Okay. The amount paid is $500. Sorry, dollars. I selected the currency, and this is $500. I can save and post payment. Once I saved it, if I go to preview, it will take me to the preview section of the journal voucher. Here, if I go to the journal voucher, I can see that this is the payment, and it is also not balanced. Okay. Why it isn't balanced? Because Zulu wants from me $8 and I paid him 500. Okay. If I unpost and tell him that I want to pay Lulu only $8, Now it is balanced. Okay. Clear? Okay, now we have something called accounting link. What do I mean by that? I mean that I want to link the back office, the stock management with my accounting software. Okay. To do so, I will go to settings and I will select accounting link, Omega accounting link. First, as support, I will go to the currencies and make sure that each currency has the accounting currency. Those currencies are the currencies created in the back office. So AED will be linked to the AED. Same goes for USD. Okay. Once finished, I press on save. Here I have something called departments. Okay. By default, if you remember in the back office, I have something called departments also, which are tables, takeaway, and delivery, right? Okay, so also those are going to be linked to the department, which are already created. As I told you, once you create the account company, the default department number is 1. How can I know the department numbers? I go to the accounting, I go to setup, I go to departments and select sub departments. The ID which is here is the department number, okay? So I go to settings, I go back to the accounting link. I go to department and I will fill them with either one or the department I want to link it to. Same goes for locations. Locations for each branch, I have multiple locations, for example. I can link them to a department number. For example, the main downtown, I will link it to the main department, and the POS location, for example, I will link it to the number 9, which is the kitchen department. So the transactions that are done for each location will go to the departments that are selected. Okay. Okay. Now to the configuration section, I will only select the purchase configuration and sales configuration. In the purchase configuration, I will check on transfer purchase. I will select transfer as unposted, and the transaction type will be purchase voucher. Okay. Sales transaction, I will select transfer as unposted also, and the type will be sales voucher. Of course, you will have to save each button you change the option. Okay. Now, once you finish, you will teach the accountant on the inventory link and the sales link. In inventory link, we have a section called suppliers. The suppliers that appear here, supplier name, are the suppliers that are created in the inventory section. Okay. Enough. Okay, sorry. So as I told you, supplier names that you can see here are the suppliers that are created in the inventory software. Here I have something called account number and that account number. What do I mean by that? Once I started the training, I created accounts, okay? Okay. So for example, I created an account called Omega. That supplier may be created in the inventory. So each supplier I have in the inventory, I will have to create an account number for him in the accounting section. Once created, I press on the blank spot and he will tell me to search for him. For example, Omega will be linked to Omega. Okay. or I can press on that button, which is auto-generate. For the supplier section, each supplier should have a different account number than the other. They cannot have the same account number, okay? In the accounting link, there are some accounts that may have same account numbers and other things that should have different account numbers. So as you can see, we have generate different account for each record or set the account for all records. Okay? Clear? If I select to generate different account, each blank account will be filled with an account number, okay?
Yes, same account.
Same goes for the VAT account number here. Each supplier that may have a VAT in his purchase in the inventory will need to create him a VAT account number. Same thing goes to the VAT account number. You can either create it as a default account or generate different account for each record. It depends on the accountant how he will create it, okay, for recording the VAT. بس تعمل generate. Okay, that's for the suppliers. Now we have something called inventory group. The most important section in the inventory group for the accounting link are the revenue account and the expense account. What do I mean by that? Each time I make, as you can see here, these are the inventory groups that are created in the inventory. Okay, so we have something called revenue account and expense account. What do I mean by that? Each time I make a sales invoice in the accounting software, in the inventory section software, the sales invoice, we have the amount of that invoice, right? Which are a revenue for me because I'm selling my products, right? Once I make the transfer to the accounting section, it needs that amount that is coming from that invoice needs to be created in my accounting software. It will go to a revenue account, which I will also have to create in the accounts. The revenue accounts can be either created by two accounts, revenue of food, revenue of beverage. If I have, for example, a restaurant, I can divide my accounts regarding the revenue accounts, or I can link them all into one account, which is created by only calling them revenue account. Is that clear, or do you want me to repeat it? Clear?
Yes.
Raouf, is that you?
Yes.
Hi, Raouf.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Okay. So now we have the expense account. It is the same thing, but it is related to the purchase. Yes, tell me.
Here is me, Ian, Robert, and Raouf.
Okay, great.
Okay, one question. If they are not selling inventory items,
If you are selling inventory items,
if they are not selling inventory items, do they still need to link?
yes.
Okay.
Expense account is related to the purchase section for the inventory. Once you make a purchase, okay, you are paying for the products you are buying from another supplier, right? So the amounts that you are going to pay are going to be linked to the expense account. Same thing goes like the revenue account. You can create two accounts, expense of food and expense of beverage, or you can also link them into one account, which will be called inventory expense account. It depends on the accountant how he wants to create them. Okay. As for the asset account and stock variation, they are not mandatory. What do I mean by asset account and stock variation? Asset account isn't mandatory. Why? Because assets are like tables, chairs, kitchen equipment, and so on, right? Okay, okay. As for the stock variation, once I do an adjustment, there is a section called variance, if you remember, right? Which is the difference between the old quantity and the new quantity.
Yes.
Yes.
I can also transfer those variants into my accounting software by filling the stock variation section. But those are not mandatory, okay? Because most of the time the accountant will type them manually, okay? The variance will be entered as manually. But if he wants it to be transferred via software, you will need to fill the stock variation account.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for the inventory link. Now we have something called sales link. Here I have the groups. Those groups are the groups that are created from the back office. The most two important things that you need to fill are the discount account and revenue account. Okay, expense account, you can fill it. It is optional, but I will tell you why we don't fill it, okay? Discount account, you need to fill it because maybe you made a discount on the point of sale software, on the POS software. So that amount that you did for the discount need to be transferred to accounting. So the accountant knows how much you made for that day. Okay. As for the revenue account, it is sales of the POS, not the inventory. As for the expense account, you can fill it. It is optional. But why we don't? Because there is something called sales item recipes. So the expenses for the sales item will already be taken from the sales item recipes. Hello. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Is it clear for the expense account and the revenue account? Okay, so the
Repeat.
expenses,
Yeah.
we don't fill them because we already filled the sales item recipes. So the expense was already taken from the inventory link, from that expense. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Now we have the payment types. Each payment type that is created on the point of sale system will also have to be linked to an account number. So for example, if an invoice is closed as cash, okay, because I have cash in my hand, the accountant needs to know how much cash do I have. So that's why once I transfer to accounting, the amount will be transferred to an account which will be already created as cash account. Okay, same goes for the MasterCard, credit, and so on. Okay. As for customers, why do I have a customer section? The customer section is for credit customers. Once I make a credit for a customer, the amount of that credit will also need to be created in the accounting. So each customer I will also have to create an account number for him. So once he take a credit, that amount needs to be shown in the accounting software. That customer, for example, has a credit balance of 50 AED. Okay. Okay, once I finish all the link, I filled all the inventory link and the sales link, I will go to settings and I will press on transfer to accounting. It will open like this. I will select the date from to. Okay. Now, what do I need to transfer? The most important things that need to be transferred are the purchase, inventory, sales, and sales. Okay. As for the purchases, because once I did the link, once I did the configuration, I told him to transfer them as unposted, and I selected that option. Each time I post a purchase on the accounting software, it will automatically be transferred to accounting without doing the transfer. Okay. So for the purchase, once I post the purchase on the stock management, it will automatically be transferred to accounting. As for the inventory,
it will be shown in GV.
can you repeat this?
It will be showing in general voucher section.
Yes, 100%. It will be shown in journal voucher.
Okay.
As for the inventory sales and sales, sales means the POS sales. Once I press transfer, that will be filled and they are going to be transferred to the journal as journal vouchers. Okay. Now, sometimes while I'll do the transfer, the software may give me an error. That error could be either by not having a rate for the currencies, as you can see, no currency rate, or because there is a missing account number. Okay.
Yes.
So what do I need to do? If I have a missing account number, I will have to go back to the settings, accounting link, and fill the missing account number, which may be one of those. So I need to fill everything related to the account numbers. Or it may be because I don't have any rate on my software because I didn't define the rate from the start. So to determine the rate, like I told you, go to setup currency rate and press on a new rate. You select the currency, select 1 January, and press on save till end of year. If you have here AED, if you have the second currency as USD, you will have to put 3.67. So 1 AED is equal to 3.67 USD. Okay. The last section for the accounting software is the reports. So once I go to the reports here, I can see all the reports related to the accounting software. I can go to financial, all the reports will appear here. Also, we have a recommended section for the reports, but all reports may appear in the financial sections. The most important reports are statement of account, the trial balance, and the income statement. Those are the most used reports for the accountant. Okay. For example, statement of account. If I select statement of account, I will select the date range. For example, last year, the currency is USD. I can see either the posted, unposted, or all transactions. I can select the account number which I want to see the statement of. Once I press on run, it will give me the report. Okay. Clear?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions regarding the accounting software?
Okay. For example, for a supplier, we need to check how much we need to pay and how to pay.
You mean you need to show? Yes. If you want to know how much you need to pay the supplier, you go to the statement of account report. Okay. Select the supplier you have. You run the report. One second. Last year. Okay, this is the previous balance. The previous balance is how much you want to pay. Okay. And if you want to do the payment, you go to the payment section, action payment. You go pay to from account. You select the JVE description, or you can do it as a journal voucher, like I told you. You press on new and you type the entry. Okay. The most important thing that you need to know, guys, is that the training for the accounting software needs to be done to an accountant. Okay. The cashier or the waiter or even the owner of that store you are going to do the training needs to be an accountant. He needs to know the accounting procedures and the chart of accounts.
Yes.
Yes, right.
I have a questions also, please.
Yes. Tell me.
Regarding to payment type, for example, type payment, it has like account link. It will show automatically here or there, or I should fill it manually.
Can you repeat? Can you repeat, please?
Payment type, for example, if you go to payment type section in back office, yes, payment types.
Yes.
For example, anyone has like a accounting link, it will show automatically.
Yes. Each
here.
one. Yes. If you go to settings now and go to the Omega accounting link and go
Okay.
to sales,
Yes,
go to payment types.
it's the same section. I mean.
Yes, the same thing. But you will need to create account numbers in the accounting so you can link them.
Yes, I know. Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Great.
Any questions?
For me, it's good.
For the chart of account in UAE, where can we get this?
Okay, so the accountant may have it. The accountant of the store or the restaurant have his own chart of account, because chart of account may be different from an accountant to another. Okay, and still on Omega we don't have a default chart of account for UAE. We only have it for Lebanon.
Okay.
But maybe if you Google chart of account for UAE, you can see a default chart of account if you Google it.
Okay. Also, you mentioned previously when in the depreciation,
Yes.
I specify the period that I want, for example, 5 years, right?
Yes, yes. It depends on the asset you have. Maybe, for
Yes.
example, a building, the depreciation of, for example, an apartment in a building is, for example, 10 years, not 5 years. It may be
Yes.
different from an asset to another.
Yes.
Okay.
So what will happen after the 5 years? I will consider it as obsolete, or sometimes we need to
Okay.
renovate this asset, or
So no. Once you select it, once the 5 year ends, the value of that object or that asset won't change anymore. Okay.
Will be like
Why do I do the depreciation? Because every year the companies pay the government for everything they pay for example, taxes and so on. Okay. For example, once you buy a car, you don't make a statement for the government that you paid the whole price of the car in that year. You divide it into many years. Okay. Did you understand my idea, or do you want me to repeat it?
can you repeat it?
Okay, for example, you bought a car, okay,
Yes.
as for a company. The company pay it as cash, okay,
Yeah.
but once the company wants to make a statement for the government regarding that car, okay, they tell the government that they didn't pay the car by cash, and they are going to pay it in 5 years, for example. So the amount of that car, for example, will be divided into 5 years, the amount that need to be paid.
Yes.
Okay, so they don't have to pay, show that they paid everything in one go.
Yes. Yes, I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions? Anyone else?
Sometimes customers ask that my transaction or the account, a specific account, uh, is not reflected in a specific transaction is not reflected in a specific account.
What is the issue?
Suppose.
The issue might be because the link is filled wrong. Okay.
Mhm.
Or he did a journal voucher and he entered a wrong number, a wrong account number.
Can we trace it from accounting link?
How can?
We trace it like to which account it
Yes,
was.
from accounting link. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
You once, for example, he told you that in this journal voucher there is a different account than the account I want. Okay. If that JV, for example, is from a purchase, and you open that journal voucher, you can see that he doesn't want that supplier to have that account number because that account number is, for example, for a different supplier. You go to the accounting link and check that if the suppliers that he wants have that wrong account number. If he does, you go and delete the old account number and put the new account number.
So again. Yes.
I didn't hear you.
Okay. So another question: how to perform end of year?
Okay, to do end of year, you go to settings, press on end of year. Okay, you select the year. Okay, here are reminders that all the purchase and invoices are entered. Once done, you check it. You check everything and you press on execute. Okay. Why do you do end of year? For example, if I want to do the end of year for 2024, that means I don't want to enter any other data regarding the year 2024. I paid all my employees, all the suppliers. I finished all my sales. Okay, so I finished the year. Once you execute that year, you cannot do any more journal vouchers in that year. Okay.
Yeah.
That's regarding to end of year. But of course, he needs to finish everything before doing it.
Yes.
But if still customer wants to edit anything or something, are they able to? Because one customer was asking me this.
Okay, once you press on execute end of year, the software will give you a journal voucher, okay?
Okay.
An end of a closing year voucher.
Okay.
If you want to re-edit or do anything related to 2024 year, you will have to delete that JV, the closing year journal voucher that was created while doing end of year.
Yeah.
So you can then reopen the 2024 year and redo the JVs you want to edit.
Okay, got it.
Great. Okay, guys, I will have to end the session. If you have any questions, you can ask us, of course.
No. Thank you.
Good for now. If we have anything, for sure we will get back to you.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay, guys.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.